Let's go with nationalism as a unifying force. So, when you have Napoleon who comes in and shakes up the entirety of Europe, takes over a bunch of land, makes other people swear fealty to them, like builds an empire that people hadn't seen since Rome, and that was in the BCs and a little bit of the ADs. But around 1200, about 1200 years before that. So there's not been anything like this for a long time. And that comes down to people feeling very, very attached to their country suddenly. So nationalism is going to become a unifying force. Nationalism means loyalty and devotion to the state with an emphasis on common history and culture. So when you're German and suddenly France is like, nope, you owe us like loyalty, and you're like, but I'm German. Like, we're not the same thing. Like, no. And they're at the end of this, they're like, oh, I guess I am German. And the Congress of Vienna solidifies this when they turn 300 German states into one. So let's stop with Italy, since we just mentioned Rome. And since Rome, Italy has basically fallen apart. Literally, if you couldn't tell all the little places coming together. So Italy has been in city-states or principalities is essentially what that means. And they're not always friends, and they're sometimes at war and sometimes not, but they have a shared history of Rome. So if you look at this before and after Italian unification, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lots of different regions and places, and these two are friends, but they don't have the same government, and these three are friends, but they don't have the same government, same government, same government, same government. It's all spread out. But after, they're all joining together, slowly but surely. I mean, this is 1850 to 1859, 1870, 1866. So it took a couple decades, but they are all going to join forces at the end, which is the goal of nationalism because they have a shared history. So Italy is made up of independent city-states. Just talked about that. And the two people that are going to really solidify this is Giuseppe Garibaldi and Camillo Cavour. So Giuseppe Garibaldi leads the red shirts, and he unites southern Italy mostly through blood. So red shirts, red blood, good way to remember that. They put Italy together by conquest. Camillo Cavour is in the north, and he's like, hey, if you don't want to fall to them, maybe we should all join together, and I'll just lead it, but you can have a say, and we'll have like a full government. It's going to be great. And they were like, yeah, it's great. Let's not fight with the red shirts in the south. I don't want to do this. So they unite the north, and the Papal States are in the middle, and that is basically like where the Vatican's outside of Rome. It's inside Rome now, but it was outside of Rome, and it's where the Catholic seat of power is. It's where the Pope lives, all his archbishops and stuff. So the Papal States are in the middle. They mostly follow the Pope, but that splits Italy in half. So the Papal States join, and Victor Emmanuel unites all of Italy. So they all come together under Victor Emmanuel, which is not Giuseppe or Camillo. But that's okay. Because now everybody's together because they're all Italian, they're all Catholic, they all are descendants of Rome, they all like fettuccine, they all like wine, and they all love being Italian. But this isn't that long ago. Like, this is 150 years ago, and people in Italy still have some feelings of, like, I'm from Rome, or I'm from Venice, or I'm from Florence. They even have a slightly different accent, just like people in America do. So even though we're like, yeah, they all speak Italian, but they don't all sound the same, and they all have slightly different words for things because they had been separated for so long. But the idea that they were all Italian is what brought them all back together. Like, we all have a shared, like, even though we don't sound the same, we all have the same language. Even though we don't dress the same, we all dress well enough the same. Like, we're definitely not German. Like, we're definitely not French. So, brings everybody back together. Germany. Let's go. This is like the beginning of Germany just causing problems, and it just makes me laugh a little bit. So Germany, lots of different places, if you can't tell. So in 1815, you have Prussia that's separated into two places. Why, I'm not sure, but whatever. Hanover, Mecklenburg, Saxony, Thuringia, Baden, like all of these different places. It's not an easy place to be. It's, once again, split up. But Otto von Bismarck is going to have a very different idea of this. He's going to become the prime minister of Prussia, and Prussia is a power. Like, the 7 Years' War, Prussia was major, major, major power. Now they've kind of shrunk down after Napoleon, after needing to to solidify stronger countries. And he wants Prussia to be great again. So he uses nationalism to appeal to German speakers. He's like, hey, we speak the same language. We all like sausage. We wear lederhosen. We are all German. And they're like, huh, you're not wrong. Like, we could be stronger together. I mean, we kind of got united with the Congress of Vienna, but now I think like we could be better. And Otto von Bismarck's like, yes, you could be. And he uses the idea of realpolitik, which means all means to achieve and hold power are justified, which is very Machiavellian. If you remember back when we talked about the Enlightenment, Machiavellian means like rule with fear. It's better to be feared than loved, and you can do whatever you need to achieve power and keep it. It means you can fake a religion, you can fake being evil, you could fake being good. It doesn't really matter as long as you get your power and hold it. Because that's what's best for the country. Like it's kind of funny because it's not what's best for the country. Like it's not good if you're slaughtering innocents, but at the same time, if you slaughter those innocents and other innocents now behave and believe in you because they don't want to be slaughtered and everybody just does their job because they don't want to be slaughtered, then it's justified. At least according to Machiavellian and realpolitik, which is what Otto von Bismarck believes in. So he starts the Franco-Prussian War to make sure that he can get all his land and get a common enemy and unite his people against France. And it leads to the creation of modern-day Germany. Look at him in his spiky hat. He looks like somebody who believes in realpolitik. His exit ticket is the great question of the day will not be decided by speeches and resolutions of majorities, but by blood and iron. This is just another hint back to the Europe is not wanting any type of democracy or republic. They're very much more interested in a monarch still. Like some one person to lead them. So even though we've had the Enlightenment, even though there's ideas and we're starting to get some constitutional monarchies, a lot of people are still really holding on to this absolute monarch stuff, which is funny because we just covered a million revolutions that are all about getting rid of this monarch. But not everybody's ready. So there we have it. Nationalism and unification.